Today, I want to welcome you especially to today's conversation. And in this conversation, we'll be having discussion on shattering stereotypes, challenging societal misconception about prison and prisoners. If you believe with me, a lot of people see the prison as a place for punishment rather than a place for rehabilitation. However, we are seated with somebody who has about first-hand information about the prison sector and how this misconception will be eroded. He has come to shed more light to inform us that the prison is not what we think. It's a place to reform. It's a place to transform. So today, I'm joined with the CEO and founder of Chinedu Foundation, a foundation that has been geared towards transforming the life of individuals within the prison and also the reintegration of individuals who have left the prison cycle. So I'm joined with Mr. Chinedu Eze. It's a privilege meeting you, sir.
It's my pleasure.
So please tell us about yourself.
Yes, my name is Chinedu Eze. Some people call me the prison ambassador.
Wow, that's amazing.
Maybe because of my prison experience or because of what I do in the prison. I am the CEO and the founder of Chinedu Eze Foundation.
Amazing. So tell us, sir, a lot of persons see the prison as a place for terrible people, individuals who are lost in society. So tell us, what are these misconceptions about prison and prisoners in Nigeria?
Yes, when we are talking about the societal misconception about prison and prisoners, it is something that even myself, before my encounter that took me to the prison, I believed before that everyone that is in prison is a criminal. That was what I believe. And this is the perception of the society towards the prisoners. That when you ask of somebody and they say he's in prison, so he has committed an offense, he's an armed robber or he's a criminal. But it is not true. The prison is not a place that when you go there, it's just like a criminal den. No. There are innocent people in the prison higher than those who actually committed one crime or the other that took them to the prison.
Now, when you look at this misconception, you imagine, how does it impact the prison?
When we look at the wrong notion of the society towards prisons and prisoners, it affects rehabilitation in prison because, number one, the government, when you leave the duty of reformation or rehabilitating inmates solely in the hands of the government, who will be making a mistake because the government has no, I don't know, would I say they have no plan towards the prisons and the prisoners? But the truth is that without the support of the society, when I say society, I mean everybody in the society, the inmates cannot be reformed in the prison.
So are you trying to tell us that your foundation generally is out to also play a role in the reformation of the prison?
Now, the birth of this foundation is due to what I experienced while I was in prison. I saw the way the society viewed those who are in prison. And I am out here, number one, is to correct the impression that it is not everybody that is in prison that is a criminal. Secondly, is to educate the populace that everybody in prison will come out to the society someday. Whether you like it or not, they will come out. So if we fail to rehabilitate them, to reform them while they are in prison, they will still come out to meet us. So you see, while I'm doing what I'm doing today, is to build a safe society for all. Because if we are able to reform them, when they come back to the society, we will live peaceful. But if we are not able to reform them, because number one, in prison there is no categorization of offenses. So everybody are brought together under one label and one tutor.
Irrespective of your crime.
Irrespective of your crime. Boko Haram, armed robber, true fighting, rapist, murder, everybody is brought under one umbrella.
Well, can you say that is safe? Is it safe?
It is not safe. That is why, you see, at the end of everything, I am seeing how I can talk to the government, how I can partner with the government, how I can write to the government to make sure they bring about categorization of offenses to save people. Because you will see somebody who is even innocent and by one reason or the other, he found himself in prison before he comes out of the prison, because the Bible says that evil communication corrupt good manners. When you keep listening to the armed robbers, those who are kidnapping, hearing how much they are collecting from their victims, he will be carried away. And this is why the issue of counseling comes. So my organization is doing a lot in order to remedy this kind of situation because it is alarming.
So you are telling me that when this issue of if this categorization does not take place, it's going to be more injurious to the reintegration and to the transformation of the inmates. Is that what you're trying to say?
Number one, if the categorization of offenses is not looked into, it will be difficult to have a proper reformation. You understand?
Okay.
Because nomenclaturally, they just changed the name of prison to correctional facilities. Yes. Now, it's not about a change of name. It should be about a change of policy.
An implementation
of policy. You understand?
Well, we keep hearing figures upon figures in terms of prison reform. Is that the money is not going to the right source? What is really the problem?
Sometimes when you hear figure that it was allocated to maybe prison reform, or that figure is real, but it will not get to the right people that are to carry out the implementation of that reformation. So basically, individual persons, a few individual persons will just sit on it, and all government will just know that we have released money for prison reform, but there's nothing.
So looking at your organization and what you've been able to do in terms of transforming the lives of persons in the prison and those out of prison, can you tell me what are these programs that you feel NGOs can do, like you yourself, and then the government can also bring on board that will actually bring about the effective running of prison and the transformation of inmates and ex-inmates?
Okay. Like I said earlier, that my organization was bettered by experience. I was there. I spent 14 years as an awaiting trial without offense. At the end of the day, I was discharged and acquitted. I look at it, should I sue the government? Yes, it was suing the government. But then I also thought that I had a bigger fish to fry. The destinies that are in prison, I think I am more concerned about rescuing those in prison than pursuing for me to be compensated also.
Yeah.
So there are some programs that can be found within the prison premises, but we are talking about the effectiveness of the programs found. Okay, like now, I will say there are those who are undergoing skill acquisition, but the skill acquisition is very, very outdated. Example, like those who are learning tailoring, I used to use them as an example because there are few of skill acquisition found there.
Okay.
So those who are into tailoring are still using manual butterfly machine.
Wow.
So if such person learn with a manual butterfly machine, coming out to the society,
how is it?
He will meet industrial machines. He doesn't even know where to start. So you can see the person will not be immediately useful to the society when he comes out.
He has to go and relearn
Go and relearn. So my focus is to make sure that we keep them up to date with what is obtainable in the society. You understand?
Yes.
So that when they leave the prison, they will be immediately useful to the society and to their families. All right?
Yes.
Secondly, there are programs found in the prison like the WAEC and the Open University. The mind is the master of every man.
Definitely.
So if you want to empower a man, you empower the mind. You understand?
Yes.
So there are the program of educational program going on in the prison. What we do as an NGO, though I am limited by resources, but the few I can handle, every year I will buy WAEC form as many as I can afford. And then I will register people for WAEC. And another thing, not just to register them, I make sure that I look for teachers whom I can give small as my eye can reach, that can be going to the prison to teach them and prepare them for WAEC, for a better examination. You understand? So after that, if their result is good, they will be, lucky to be admitted into the National Open University, as I was. That is where I got my BSc in Peace and Conflict Resolution.
Well, please, can you tell us about your experience having a degree over there? What was it like within the confinement of that environment?
It's not actually easy. Some people, when I left the prison, when I came out, some people said, it's like I will go to prison, so I will be like you. And I used to tell them, I said, don't try it.
So you have to commit crime before you can get there now.
Number one, you have to commit crime before you can go there. I went there by chance without committing crime, but it's not always so.
Absolutely.
So if you want to go to the prison, number one, prepare to commit a crime so that you can go to the prison. And then secondly, grace spoke for me. It might not be available for you.
For you, definitely.
Yeah. So prison is a place that you can be lonely in the midst of crowd.
So to you now, Chinedu Foundation is just specifically wanting to just bring about a change in terms of programs.
Yes. That is because those who are studying in the National Open University, there is no facilitator for them. It is just learn by yourself. So, and I believe that if we have facilitators that help them to understand, so many of them cannot grasp what they are reading. So, but if we have facilitators that will guide them into what they are reading, they will come out better. The target, the goal is not the results. The goal is the knowledge. So you understand?
Pastor, I just love the fact that you've just said the goal is the knowledge. But looking at this, let's just shift to another area. There are issues of stigmatization. Prisoners will leave the prison, and after leaving, they become ex-inmates. But there's a problem of reintegrating them into the society. Is there anything the government is doing to bring about their proper reintegration to the society?
Now, you see, we have to leave the government out of this matter because government is actually doing nothing. All right? When I started, I said the wrong perception of the society towards prison and prisoners is a problem because it affects reintegration. Remember, I said that every inmate in prison will definitely come back to the society someday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But the challenge the inmates have, those who are leaving the prison, that when they come back to the society, especially reformed, becomes a problem to the society, becomes a problem to themselves, becomes a problem to their families. All right? So, and then you cannot keep isolating, stigmatizing them, because there is something I say, that when the good fail to play their role, the bad will have their way. Wow. Everybody needs a company. So when you don't receive them, when we stigmatize them, we don't want to cooperate with them, we don't want to associate with them, they are ex-prisoners. There are people who are waiting to receive them, to embrace them, and teach them more crimes.
Now, let me now ask her. Some of them will argue with you that in the prison, there are no facilities, they are not properly trained. Now, what can we do? What can NGO do to help those who are ex-offenders, who are ex-inmates, to help them learn and reintegrate into society? What programs can they learn, aside being in prison now?
Now, this is what we are working on as Chinedu Foundation. Because I said earlier that when they learn there and come out, they will not be immediately useful to the society. So we are looking at a situation whereby we follow them up from the prison. As they are coming out, we pick them from the prison and then place them where they can learn properly and be up to date. So we take care of them at the period of their learning. Some of them will learn 6 months. Some of them, depending on how fast they can learn. But we make sure that they will not be parasite to the society, but they will be a plus to the society for the betterment of all of us.
Let's dive to issue of policies and reform. Whether we like it or not, everybody has to be on board to make this thing possible. And as an NGO, what policy, what reforms can you suggest for NGOs like yourself, governments, to see that these reforms actually take place within the prison and outside of prison? What reforms do you think, or what there are reforms that have been done that need to be revisited? Do you think there are any, or there are new reforms that you feel should be injected into the system to help the transformation of offenders and ex-offenders, or prison and those who are out of prison?
Thank you for that question. Now, talking about policy, I think we have policy making body in this country. But like a common Nigerian will tell you, they're not going to do policy when they go favor them. You understand?
Yeah, I get
The
you.
only policy that policymakers are interested about, or you see them passing a bill, if the bills is not catching their interest, no way, it will not fly. But I tell you that the best policy to reduce crime in the society and keep youth out of prison is youth empowerment.
Wow.
There is no enabling environment for youths in this country. So creating enabling environment and empowering the youth will go a long way to reduce crime in Nigeria.
Wow. So just to cut you short, are there maybe from your experience so far, can you tell us if there what government should do, stakeholders should do to be able to reduce crime? You have talked about empowerment, but are there other areas of concern aside the empowerment that government and NGOs can actually do to transform individuals who are outside of the prison or who are ex-inmates?
I think there should be advocacy. Yes, all right?
Yes.
Community advocacy on danger of crime. And then, like I said, you cannot talk about danger of crime without an alternative or option. Because when there is no option, there is no plan B. People say plan B.
Plan B, yeah.
When you advocate without plan B, your advocacy will go nowhere. So in as much as government, NGOs, other organizations should, venture into advocating the need or the danger of crime.
So, sir, tell me, we look at the hope. Every prisoner or ex-inmate feel that there's basically no hope. From your experience, can you tell us, is there really hope after incarceration?
Well, this one I think I will talk to you that you are in prison now or that you are out of prison and you don't know where to start. I will tell you that, look at me, I am your hope. If I can come out from the prison after 14 years and be doing what I am doing, you can even do better. So there is hope. Don't let anything to limit you and tell you that it is over for you. No, it cannot be over. A prison, as I said earlier, is a place for you to, a place of self discovery. It's a place of self awareness. You need to be aware of who you are. You need to discover the talents that God has given you. Do you know what?
Yes, sir.
Before going to the prison, I didn't know I could do what I'm doing today. In the prison, I wrote about 7 books.
Amazing.
Now published. I published one which is The Living Dead. That is the first book that I've been able to publish. Wow. I wrote about 167 songs.
Amazing.
Which 2 albums, I have waxed 2 albums from the 167 songs. All right? And I graduated with a 2nd class upper. Wow. In peace and conflict resolution. Wow. Those are the things I achieved in my stay in prison. So you can decide to, redeem your time while in prison. Don't allow the prison time to be wasted, to be a wasted time. No, you can redeem your time while in prison.
Wow, this is beautiful. It's actually a very amazing moment with Mr. Chinedu Eze, the founder of Chinedu Eze Foundation. This is wealth of knowledge. In fact, it's been a long time I've sat to listen to this wealth of knowledge. And from what I'm hearing, I feel your organizations really, really go far.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for granting me this opportunity to meet with you. It's really a privilege.
Thank you.
And viewers out there, you are watching and you are almost giving up. Just know that this is a classical example of someone who has spent so many years and has picked up life again and has defined his life and given it a meaning. So his NGO is virtually open for support, virtually open for sponsorship. You can contact him
for partnership
and all, and I'm sure you will deliver quality service to persons inside the prison and ex-inmates. So God bless you and see you in the next series. Thank you. Bye.
So in case you want to reach us, our number is 0064585850. Call us for any inquiry. Call us for whether you want to be a partner, whether you want to be a donor, whether you want to sponsor anything we are doing in the prison. You are welcome. And your presence is also required. If you want to follow us to prison for physical visitation, we are open. You just tell us where you are. We tell you where you will meet us. Any day we are going for physical visitation, so you can go with us and see things by yourself. It is not theory. You need to go there with us and see things by yourself. You can donate foodstuffs. You can donate clothes. You can donate whatever. But I tell you that whatever you are giving to the prisoner, the Bible says, when I was in prison, you visited me. It will be recorded for you. God bless you.
So bye.
Bye.